Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Kat and we're going to do some cooking, and with this being the first day of the channel and the first video, we're going to go with pizza because first date should always start with pizza. Now I've got this all set up over here and we're going to change gears because we need to look at the counter to be able to do all this. So we're going to try this recipe, all American pizza. If it turns out good, I'll link it down in the description. This is supposed to make two 12-inch pizzas. I think that's 14-inch. We're going to have extra pizza dough because I'm not going to mess with trying to have it and then have it make screw up. So we start with a cup. We start with taking the ring off. There we go. No pizza dough in the ring. So we're going to start with a cup of flour. There we go. Cup of flour. We are going to add the yeast. Now I'm using Saf Instant, which I cut open. It was like a solid brick. Not real pleased about this, completely short, but I'll just throw it in a Ziploc bag. We are going to add 2 1/4 teaspoons. And yes, I've never done this recipe before. I have usually, in other words, the 3 other times I've made pizza, this is number 4. I have used Fleischmann's pizza yeast. What else do you call it? Like rapid, super, holy shit pizza yeast. All right, so we got 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. Whoop. Funky little grainy stuff. We are going to add the salt. What does it say? 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now, I tend to do less salt because the husband is high blood pressure-ish. So we're going to do a little bit more. Not even half a 1/4 teaspoon, not an eighth. So we will do that. And then it says to mix well. Ooh, we need the kitchen fork. All right, so these are nice and mixed. And because it has for in the Fleischmann's recipe, I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar. Not much, but a little bit. And it should make those yeast beasties a little happier. Who knows? Maybe it'll just make the dough sweeter. We're gonna try it. We're gonna go. That looks good. All right. Okay, so now we are supposed to warm up the water and oil. Now we are using olive oil, not vegetable oil. Shh, don't tell anybody. We're gonna get a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of oil. Okay, we're actually gonna heat this up and then add the oil. The oil is not gonna cool it off all that much. Let's go with 30 seconds. Start. Okay, so this little guy here, get yourself one of these. If you do not have a kitchen thermometer, the link is in the description. Go buy this right now. You'll see me use this a lot. We're going to use it today to measure the temperature on the water. Why should you have a meat thermometer or a kitchen thermometer? Here's why. I can now measure this and it is 190 degrees. It is supposed to be between 120 and 130. I could be using it too hot and would kill the yeasties, or I could be using it too cold and it won't grow the yeasties. So, something we got to keep in mind. We want to measure it. We're going to check the temperature, and the temperature says 132, 134, 135. Now, obviously, you can see it bounces around a little bit. Obviously, we're going to let it cool a little bit. I'm going to put our oil in there. So now we need 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You will also notice that hopefully you will notice me losing weight. Me and my husband are both trying to lose weight. I have lost probably, and there we go, that little stirring gave me 196. I have lost probably about 20 pounds. He, I think, has lost about 30. You might have noticed, I'm still a little chunky. So, but we're trying. So, hopefully I will be able to show you guys that eating healthy, or at least healthier, Doesn't have to suck. I still make meatloaf. We still eat pizzas. It's kind of one of those things. You've got to not hate what you're eating. Because if you hate what you're eating, you're going to cheat. The biggest thing I have found when it comes to, we're just gonna get this right out of here. The biggest thing I have found that when it comes to food and why you gain weight is not always what you eat, but how much you eat and what your ingredients are. I am also going to recommend getting a kitchen scale. Again, I will link my kitchen scale in the description to one of these videos anyway. It's a good kitchen scale. It's not what I would probably consider the best, but it is loud and it does tell me how much shit weighs. The problem is we don't realize how much we're eating. If you are cooking at home, nobody has a little tag on the bottom of your recipe. Well, they might, but when you just throw chicken in a pan, you throw some pasta on the stove, you throw some veggies in the microwave, and you don't know how much pasta you're supposed to have. A serving of pasta generally is 2 ounces. I want you to think, how big is 2 ounces? How much is 2 ounces besides being 2 ounces? Can you measure it? Is it that much? Is it this much? They have a wonderful little tool that can tell you, how much is a serving of spaghetti. Well, that's not really helpful when you're making elbows. You have to have a scale. It's gonna show you how much. I found out when we got our first scale that I was making almost twice as much per serving for us. I cut that back, but I didn't just go, we're gonna go down to 1 serving. Nope, I went down to a serving and 3/4 for each of us. And then a couple months later, I went down to a serving and a half. And then a couple months later, I went down to a serving. Now we eat about 3/4 of a serving, each of us. Actually, I probably eat a little more than, I probably eat closer to a serving. John eats closer to a half a serving. He isn't as big in the pasta as I am. Or the breads. He's weird. All right, so this is getting thicker. You can see it's kind of getting gooey, which tells me we need a bunch more. Now the recipe, I know I put a cup in there. The recipe calls for 2.5 cups of flour. It also says bread flour. We're gonna have to kind of hope this works out well. But they start with a cup, and you can see it starting to kind of get into a ball. So once we get into that ball, then we will make sure it's a sticky ball. And then we will knead it on the counter. It looks funny when it oozes out, doesn't it? You know what? I didn't add in my garlic. We're getting to where it's kneadable. Next time, we will try the food processor, but that thing is brand new to me. I never had one growing up. I've used it a total of, I think, 3 times. We're not there yet. I think we are about ready to lay down some pizza dough. All right, see how it's still kind of sticky? We want sticky ball, but we don't want sticky to hands ball. We want it to be, at least we hope, we want it to be where it doesn't necessarily stick to you, but still has some stickiness. I know that sounds odd. Because we want to knead it, we just don't want it stuck all over our fingers. All right, I think we're good. I think this is where we're going to have to start kneading it ourselves, because we need to get it mixed through a little better. Let's plop this bad boy out on here. And we are just going to add flour until it goes from sticky ball to, not rubbery, that's not the right term for it, but we want it formable, but not necessarily sticking to us. And you can see when I do that, we're doing pretty good. But you see kind of the stickiness? We don't want that much stickiness. And kneading just, well, means kneading. If you have a cat, you don't want this. We have to move stuff around. All right, and I think we're getting good. Yeah, I think this is good for the flour. All right. So we don't want it to stick to our counter. We want it to stick to itself. We want a ball that we can use. Basically, we want it to form into a ball. We want it to hold its ball shape, but we don't want it to necessarily stick to us. And even though it is instant yeast, we are going to let it rise. I think this is 15 minutes. We're going to let it rise until, we get everything else ready. There we go. Now, see that? Forms a nice ball. But isn't sticking. So, that's what we want. Now, we're going to go ahead and make this into a nice little ball. And we're going to see how that works. Are we good? Yes. We're going to put it in. Yes, I know I'm still kneading it. We're going to, I just want to make sure there's no like floury bits on the spots and that is stuck all together. Now, you can over knead stuff. You will probably find me over kneading stuff. But unfortunately, that's just the nature of the game. All right, we are going to, supposed to rest for 15 minutes. I can imagine if I was kneaded that much, I'd need to rest too. All right, so let's clean this mess up and let's make the rest of the pizza, or the stuff for the pizza. So what are we making? We are making the pizza sauce. We're cooking the Italian sausage to go on top. We're gonna get our oven heating up to 400. So, some of you might be going, but Kat, you should have the pizza sauce made in advance and cooked and cooled and blah, 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 blah. Nope, we are gonna take some tomato paste, garlic. I do have a new little tool that I am gonna use. This is not my food processor, but this is a little food processor-y type thing. So Hamilton Beach hand blender something or other. So we are going to use that. I want to talk about what we're putting in the sauce. Paste. We have some onion powder, which we're going to go ahead and put in there. We've got some Italian seasoning we're going to put in there. Regular old ground pepper in there. We are going to take our tomato paste. We're going to take out, what, about half, I think. There's some tomato paste in there. We're going to add some, again, olive oil. We're going to add some olive oil, some of the Italian seasoning, garlic powder. This one, we're going to keep the shaker on. Pepper. That sounds about good. A little bit of salt, not much. Kind of making stuff yourself can be helpful. All right, so we've got this thing, and it'll go in here. But what am I missing? Oh, water. You notice I'm not measuring much. Okay. Oh, I hate the way these things don't necessarily lock, or it's a really hard thing to lock. Why are you not behaving? There we go. All right, this thing locks in. All right, Plug it in, turn it on, pop that top off, take a look at it with my spoon. It's a little thick. It smells good though. Another thing you're gonna learn, I cook by smell. Is that weird? I cook by smell. If it's weird, I get it from my mother, so, well then, yeah, it is weird. A little more olive oil. Again, no measuring. Ooh, I forgot the garlic. That's what I was missing. Garlic. Where's my cooking fork? So, let's take some garlic. A little more garlic. Toss that in there. We've got our water in there. And we're on. How do we look now? We're about there. Needs more pepper. Slight bit more water. I think we're good on the oil. The nice thing about making your own sauce too is if you like spicy pizza, you put more spice in it. I know that sounds kind of, a duh moment, but you'd be surprised. Okay, I think this will be the last one. There we go. I tend to like a slightly thinner sauce because I don't like to put as much on. And it's a whole lot, to me, easier to kind of spread it around if it's kind of thin. All right, so we now have pizza sauce. Put that back. Now, what's next? The sausage. I will say, I've lost enough weight that my pants are falling down. So I am going to cook all of this. I'm going to put some on the pizza, not too much, because we're also doing pepperoni. It's not a pizza without pepperoni. It's just not. So we're going to put some pepperoni. We're going to put some sausage. So what are we going to do? We're going to cook up the sausage. We're going to put what we want on the pizza. The rest of it's going into a little baggie in the freezer. I can just pull it out for anything. Decide we want to make eggs one morning, throw in some sausage. I might put it in little individual bags too. We'll see. You can also, and we kind of wanted to treat ourselves, but you can also use meatballs. Got some frozen meatballs, thaw them out, heat them up if you want, not a bad idea. Toss them in the oven for a while. And then crumble them, plop them on top. Or don't crumble them, leave them on top. They're little tiny meatballs you can get, little bitty things. Butterball actually makes a turkey for beef lovers. Oh boy, that was a big thing for me. You have to have your cheat days, because otherwise every day is a cheat day. You eat healthy or healthier. I'm not going to claim to be healthy, but you eat healthier for 2 days. You get beside yourself and binge for 4. Now we don't eat out much. Sucks, but here I cook. That's one of the reasons I think I wanted to do this, is because at least if I'm cooking, I can cook to somebody. The husband loves everything I eat. Here's a little trick. If you want well crumbled, whether it's hamburger, whether it's Italian sausage, whether it's your turkey, whatever, you can buy one of those fancy little, specifically for chopping up your meat, or you can use a potato smasher. Works just well. Everything is mostly lump-free. It's also very oily. So, what do we do next? We're gonna grab a plate and made bacon. Ever made bacon? Paper towels. Bacon on a plate to let it kind of drain, I guess is the best way to put it, and that's how they usually say it. So we're gonna put our sausage on a plate, spread it around. Kat, are you using paper towels? Why, yes, I am. And we are actually going to put it back in the frying pan. I'm getting sausage everywhere. The dog is gonna love this when he comes in here. See that? That's the back side. There's the front, the top side. All of that oil is now no longer going into our food. I had not found a recipe yet, mostly because I hadn't looked for one. So, recipe was found maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes before generally started recording. So yeah, let that crisp up a little bit. We're gonna pull out the pepperoni. We've got cheese up here. We've got some mozzarella. We've got some pizza blend, which we may use instead of the mozzarella. And we've got some cheddar, because I'm sorry, pizza needs cheddar. It got a little big. And it is a little, it ain't so sticky. We are going to roll it around, let it kind of get itself unstuck a little bit. And yes, that is a very old bachelor pizza pan. Hubby made many a meal on these, I'm sure. Why am I using it? Because we've got it. Why didn't I just bother to get something better? Well, number one, 4th time making pizza. And number 2, it works. Why replace it? But I know the pizza stones are perfect. Yeah, whatever. I'd rather buy stuff like, I don't know, video games or maybe some office supplies. Spend most of my other money that I can on jewelry stuff. All right. Kat, did you use another paper towel? Yes. Yes, I did. This is supposed to make 2 crusts. Supposed to cut it in half. It is now cut in half. Mostly. Oh, come on there, you dumb thing. Okay, so we're gonna get it off of me. We are gonna put this side down. And we are gonna spread it out. It doesn't look like it's gonna be, well, I suppose it's still gonna rise a little bit, but I mentioned we're from Buffalo. Now, you can roll this out. Yeah, again, I got a nice rolling pin though. It's pizza. It's pizza shaped. So we're gonna get pizza sauce. That makes it a pizza. Now, there's the pizza sauce. Remember? Said that looked pretty good. We've got our dough. And I had to do some things off camera. And it's risen up. That is probably going to be really tasty. I may have to do that again. Okay, so we've got our pizza sauce. Again, I'm going to smell. Yeah, that smells nice. Nice and tasty. Put it in here. Now, I do not use a whole lot of pizza sauce. There's 2 reasons for that. 1, well, I don't like a whole lot of pizza sauce. And 2, pizza sauce and me don't necessarily have a great relationship. I have a little bit of heartburn, which is likely because of the weight, and it does set it off. Although, weirdly and annoyingly, so does chocolate. Of course, especially chocolate chip cookies, so that's probably actually the flour. Okay, a little more on there. I'm sure there's a wonderful fancy tool that somebody makes to do this. Spoon works fine. I like my cheese. This is my husband's downfall, because he likes this cheese too. So we're gonna get some cheese. Whoop, get you out of the way. I'm gonna do this to try and keep the cheese from getting on the pan, even though it's still gonna get on the pan as I spill it everywhere. Now I had read in a pizza making people forum.com. Don't type that in. That's probably not correct. Look at that. Saying I didn't want to get him in there and then put it everywhere. And the gentleman there had said that he put oregano instead of in his crust or in his sauce, he put it on the cheese, top of the cheese. So we're going to put some cheese on here. We're going to take, I make a mess. So this is oregano. Oh, there we go. From my garden. Garden being little pots. We will go visit the garden at some point. But because my poor little oreganos haven't completely grown up yet, and because I really like oregano and basil, and I keep snipping them and they're not getting to grow, I don't have much. So we're going to do that and a little bit of dry. And kind of mix them together. And we're going to sprinkle this on top of the cheese. And he said, I don't know if he said it was the oils in the cheese, but he said it really made the oregano yay. I guess one of those whatever things. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of cheese. We're going to put some more cheese on top because cheese. Okay, now, there's our sausage. Cat, did you really use another paper towel? Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, so we're gonna take some sausage. We're gonna sprinkle this around it. See, the nice thing about a crappy pan that works just fine, it's all dented in the middle, so it spins perfectly. Okay, and then we have a pepperoni hormel. It's not ideal. It's no marguerites, put them in the South. Actually, I'm sure you can get that everywhere, just not at Food Lion. All right, so let's put on some pepperoni. Do not eat. Now, more cheese. All right, have I mentioned kind of cheat day? Cheddar. If you've never had cheddar on a pizza, what's wrong with you? Shame. Eat the rest. And now, nasty, but he likes them. So we give him the yucky, nasty olive bits. I also cut them upside down. Thought there was something wrong with my can opener. And there is our pizza. So now we're gonna go in the oven for 20 minutes or some such thing, and we will be back. And there is our pizza. Nastiness and all. Ugh. We're gonna see how it tastes. Right now, I think it looks pretty good. It smells delicious. We'll see how it all works. Thank you for watching.